What it do? Across the world, YouTube, vast apostate army. It's your man, Bad Association. How you doing? I'm making this video today because I was going through some old notebooks, and I write a lot. I'm a writer, and I had these journals I was writing in as I was getting more into my research about the Watchtower, Babel, and Crap Society. And it had a lot of questions in it that I was asking, and just basically my mindset at the time. And I think it's important for me to read this because these are probably some questions that witnesses have asked themselves, you know, current witnesses or even former witnesses and those fading. So I'm going to read from this and, you know what I'm saying, have some questions that I've been asking, trying to answer, and just listen, you understand. Starts off like this. Found myself pondering more celestial questions today, before 9:30 a.m. this time. They come a lot faster now. The Earth must have a max occupancy, since it can't grow. So if we were truly meant to live forever, wouldn't we overpopulate? I believe in God, just not sure if everything I've been taught is completely true, or it's at least been misinterpreted. If we never died, the Earth would just get full. Either we'd venture on to other planets or stop reproducing. This makes my mind swell with unanswered queries. Were we meant to live forever? The only true way to know is to wait and see, but it scares me that you could live your whole life believing something and not knowing if it's true or not. I'm told to look at the evidence and have faith. Faith, built on ancient scrolls that translators say are relevant to today, on signs of the times. Bible scholars aren't the only ones with dim future predictions. It all depends on your interpretation, is what I truly believe. There are many thematic visions in the Bible, and we are taught that they represent historical figures and world powers, so why is it outlandish to think the same thing about, say, Nostradamus and his quatrains? They've been shown to be just as accurate as some biblical prophecies, but because the Bible says its writers were inspired by God, we're supposed to immediately dismiss all others? It's all relevant and strictly perception-based theories in my eyes. No one knows our true future. You can calculate, extrapolate, dissect, and autopsy every earth-shattering event to determine our future, but a few facts will always remain true. We're mortal. We die. Whether from natural or supernatural forces, we die. It's gonna happen one day. All we can really do is live our lives the best we can. I find that no matter what religion you are, the golden rule applies universally. If you treat others the way you want to be treated, life will be easy. It all starts with the man in the mirror, truly. Isn't that the best way to live? I believe in God. I believe we were created, and also that we evolved. There's just too many specimens and fossils that show that our look has changed over time, and that we've been here, but it all had to start somewhere, and that's with God. But how are we really supposed to follow His Word when there are so many variations of His Word? Old Testament, New Testament, Ten Commandments, Old Jewish Law. There's so many drawn, some still in practice and others thought to be antiquated. The church no longer sacrifices animals, but it's still tied by the church. How can you pick and choose which laws to follow? Man shall not lie with man, word for word, that's in the Bible. Yet churches are running gay and lesbian support groups. Didn't God destroy Sodom? Sodomy was a crime, and now it's glorified? How can such people claim to be holy? There's so many stories of pedophiles, not only in the Catholic Church, but in Jehovah's Witness halls. It's been going on for years. I have another page. Oh yeah, it's going on for years. Just from the few witnesses I do know, I've heard of at least one girl or boy from each congregation that has had that experience. And a lot of times, it's handled within the hall and kept from secular authorities. That ain't right. It just ain't right. I think the truth is in a downward spiral that needs to be corrected, so at least the young ones can have a chance to do things right. I've been thinking a lot about what my mom's been telling me for years. Make the truth your own. That's another piece of wisdom that I think in itself is subject to perception. To me, it means ask questions. Keep asking questions. Following for the sake of following is pointless. Do research, and not just on the religion you were raised in, but of others. I wish I could speak on this more with witnesses, but the last time I did, I was told I was thinking like Satan. Seriously? Because I'm trying to make an informed decision on how to live, and I'm not just accepting what I've been told, I have to be affiliated with the devil. It's almost cult-like how they have a stranglehold on every witness's mind. Their main programming, if you're not with us, you're against us. Sometimes, I feel I should shed the media's light on the subject in hopes to get straight answers, as opposed to, look it up, it's in the Bible. Is that because they can't give a straight answer? I have to refresh my memory, but I do remember there were a few fishy things I discovered about the governing body that left me scratching my head. I definitely have to start reading that book that I got from my mom's, which I'm trying to find right now. I think it was this one, Keep Yourself in God's Love. Mom was positive that's what she gave me. But yeah, well, that's what I had wrote. The book that my mom gave me. And I need to do some deep comparisons over the next year. I'm not trying to stress over religion my whole life. I know I've sinned, we all have, and we continue to sin on a daily basis. We'll never be without it until we die. But I still have questions. Was there a Lilith? Did Jesus die on a cross? Jesus met a Cyclops on one of his journeys. Is it any coincidence? So did Odysseus on his Odyssey. Could other religions be correct and the truth actually be false? That last one will probably haunt me forever. But the others, I believe I can find enough information on to at least have closure in my own convictions. I wrote this in October. This is on October 7th of 2009. In that short period of time, I've done so much research that I'm fully convinced, and I know that the Watchtower is not true. It's just bullshit. Any witness still in it, they're not going to see it unless, you know, those who have the opportunity to help them. We have to do something. We have to speak to them. We have to protest. Do whatever we can. I'm not exactly sure of the actions. Like, I try to think before I act, but a lot of times I act before I think. So I'm not exactly sure of the exact plan, but we have to do something. I've tried speaking with my mom, and I got her to actually start listening to me for a while. I spoke to her about 1914. She could explain it to me. She started going down, and of course, 607 BC came up, and I told her from my research I found that it was actually 587 or 586. And to my surprise, she actually said, a long time ago I did some research myself and I found the same thing. I'm like, yes! So what did you find out? She kind of glossed over that. I can't remember what she said. She just kind of moved on to basically the light gets brighter and that whole argument. And I kind of gave her the argument that a light gets brighter doesn't mean that it changes or that it goes back and forth. If you learn something new, it's not supposed to contradict something else that you already knew. It's supposed to add to it. So how can, at one point you say you can't have blood transfusion, then say you can, then say you can't, then say now you can have portions of it, but when the Bible specifically says abstain from blood, if it says abstain from blood, that means blood period, not, a section of blood. Like they say that you can't have plasma, but you can have parts of plasma. That, It doesn't make any sense to me. So anyways, I just wanted to read that, and any thoughts on it, I'm open to hear about, and I'll be giving more videos soon. Badass. Holla.